That didn't really feel as quick as I thought. Right, so first off, no, it's a little bit different. You probably looked at that and went, hold on. But that's basically what we plan on talking about today. So first off, I'm going to say outright, let's give Peter a massive round of applause. I mean, come on. TR 4, 5 and 6, composer, for God's sake. And I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you very much for taking the time to come down. And
it's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I mean, to be honest, the effort you put into doing that was phenomenal as well. So, you know what I mean? It's like equal credit here. Like, so, you know, what you did with that was phenomenal.
You're just being
put a lot
modest.
more work into that than what I did. So, thank you.
Well, it was enjoyable. So, and it's something a bit different. So I think one of the dying questions I have for you, and I know there's a few other music composers in here that are quite interested. How the hell did you get into the field? Because it baffles me as to how that kind of came about.
I've always been into music. I mean, right from a very early age, you know, I remember maybe it's 2 years old, 3 years old, kind of like nicking some knitting needles and conducting to some sort of music, you know, just thinking like that's the kind of thing I want to do. In the early to mid 80s, I kind of really I embraced like video games. I loved the Commodore 64, I loved the Amiga, and I kind of just fused the two together. And I just thought, you know, I really like music, I really like kind of video games. It just makes sense for me to kind of like move in that direction. That's pretty much how I got to the kind of like game music section. But I've always been fascinated by music. It's just something that's been in my blood since as far as I can remember. So
yeah, and I completely drew a blank there. Because we were having a chat actually. I'm taking a limelight off you. Because there was actually a time you told me a story actually of you. What was it you were playing with? You got your daughter TR2.
It was my nephew, yeah.
Oh, your nephew,
yeah.
Sorry,
I was
TR2.
That's right, yeah.
And you actually said, I'd love to work on that game.
Yeah, that was the thing. Be careful what you wish for. It's I bought TR2 for my nephew. We played on Christmas Day, and I was working for another video games company at the time. I was quite relatively new to the games industry. And I just remember playing that game, listening to the music and thinking the sound, and just thought, I'd love to be working on something like that. You know, it's pretty much where I want to be. I'm a little bit bored of what I'm doing right now. Yeah. 10 months later, I was working for core design. You know?
So it kind of came about. I was just like, oh, okay.
It just happened. Yeah.
That happened.
I mean, you know, not long after I kind of worked for this company, it went bust. And then, you know, I got a call off an agency that just said, look, there's a vacancy at core design. I said, okay, I'll go for it. I'll not get it, but I'll go for it.
Yeah, that's not bad. Although there is also another question I've been wondering is, as we know, Nathan McCree worked on 1, 2 and 3 and done an absolutely blinding job.
Absolutely.
And I definitely think we can all agree there.
Yeah.
How did it feel kind of coming from someone that was just like, oh, I'd like to work on that game, all of a sudden trying to fill those shoes? I can only imagine from my point of view, I'd be like...
I mean, to be honest, when I joined core design, I wasn't kind of assigned to work on Tomb Raider. I was working on a game called Hurdy-Gurdy. It wasn't until I did the music for Hurdy-Gurdy that Jeremy Smith turned around and says, look, you know, we need somebody to score the next Tomb Raider. I want you to do that. I mean, it was every emotion, every feeling I could ever have was kind of present at the time. I was overwhelmed. It was just fantastic. You know, I was just in there. I sort of thought, you know, I'm going to have to kind of like, the limelight's going to be on me now. I'm going to have to kind of make sure that I'm carrying on from something that was so successful. So yeah, it was daunting, but it was really enjoyable at the same time because it kind of focused me on trying to make things, you know, progress things and kind of take my career the way I wanted to take it. So yeah, it was a mixed bag of emotions, but
I can imagine actually. Credit to you, because even from my point of view, I would be looking at that going, well, where do we start?
I mean, it was an open book, really. I mean, that I wasn't really kind of directed by anybody, you know, exactly what. They just kind of left me to my own devices just to get on with things and do things the way things have been done for the last kind of 3 years. And if anything was wrong, they would come in the studio and just say, look, you know, you're kind of going off on the wrong track. But most of the time, it was just pretty much accepted. What I was doing was I mean, I used the influence from what Nathan did. So I wasn't kind of veering too far from where the Tomb Raider was supposed to go, or where it was going. But I mean, I want to put my own stamp on things, and I think that's kind of natural with any composer. And it just ended up the way it ended up.
Well, I could definitely say, and everyone here agrees, you definitely made your own mark in that regard. Unless anyone else has anything to object about that.
Whatever, hold your peace.
So are there any, like, I would say, from working in the music industry myself, and there's always funny stories to be told.
Yeah.
Are there any, oh yeah, absolutely. Are there any particular events where like, it really stuck out to you as, well, people that came that were really, really talented that you've worked with before, or funny events that have happened where it's just like, did that really just happen?
I can't think of anything offhand, to be honest, about that. Things that I remember quite vividly was, I mean, it's not a funny moment or anything like that, but I remember standing in Studio 1 of Abbey Road when the Angel Darkness theme was being played.
Yeah.
There was 3 takes of that. The first 2 takes were a little bit not quite right, but we probably could have fixed that in auto-tune later when I think about it. But at the time, we just wanted to get it right.
Yeah.
The first 2 takes weren't quite right, and I went out into the main recording room and spoke to the conductor and says, can you ask the harps to tune, the last note up, please? And they'd done another take of that, and I was actually standing behind the conductor listening to that, and that to me was an epic moment. You know what I mean? Listen on a CD, listen on vinyl, listen to it live, whatever. It's not the same as actually standing there in this big, famous studio, listening to an 84-piece orchestra play a piece of music that you wrote. It was just like,
literally just about to ask about that, because you've been working hard on your TDAS.
Yes.
And what was the feeling? Like, you've got this huge orchestra at your disposal, and it's like these are like world-class musicians. It's just like you're at the helm, just kind of like, oh, Jesus.
I don't think you get enough time to appreciate it, if I'm being honest, because you've got so many different things going on. I mean, when we did the TDAS recordings, I was kind of running from room to room, whereas I wasn't, I should have ideally just spent time in the studio and listened to the full performance and made sure everything was done the way it should have been done. But there was a lot going on, there was a lot to deal with, this, that, and the other. I kind of didn't really get to fully appreciate it, but it was still a memorable moment, you know what I mean? It was still something I learned from and something I really kind of cherish, an experience I cherish. So
I can only imagine. I'm very, very jealous, actually.
I've only ever scored for an orchestra twice.
Twice? What was the other song?
There was Angel of Darkness and then TDAS. TDAS was a complete solo.
Not a bad combo, I'll go with it.
It was great. When Jeremy Smith, me and Martin Iveson, we went up to Jeremy Smith and said, obviously, I think at that point we realised we need something special for the PS2 version. Everyone was up in the graphics. We thought we needed up the audio. And we just decided, let's just make a list. Top one, Abbey Road. Top orchestra, LSO, and then, make your way down kind of thing and see where we'll land. And when we went up, he just went straight with Abbey Road LSO. So we were like, whoa, okay, you know what I mean? That's great. I've never done anything like that before in our life. So we had to make a lot of changes to how we write music, because we needed to get more people involved in the orchestrators, arrangers, this, that, and the other. But it was just an amazing experience. So there was that experience. With Abbey Road, it was an 84-piece orchestra, and everything was recorded in 2-3 hour sessions. So you're looking at like sort of 40, 50-minute piece of music in 6 hours, it's quite not bad going, do you know what I mean? The beauty of the LSO as well is that they're that accomplished that they don't need to practice the music. They've never seen the music before they go in. They'll come in, the music will go down, and they'll just perform it. There might be a couple of mistakes here and there, but even some of the mistakes that they made, I thought actually it's better for what I've wrote, so just keep it as it is.
I think it's also just a testament as to how much time they actually put into their craft.
Exactly, yeah.
Coming from the other side of things, like when I'm in the studio, we're talking like the whole day.
Yeah.
To kind of make sure that we've got everything all sorted, and they're just like rolling in and just, yeah, cool, how you doing? I'm just going to go and do this.
It's amazing when you think about it, because they've done like 40, 50 minutes piece of music in 2-3 hour sessions. I've spent a week just changing just a note to sound right in it mixed, It's just like, when you kind of compare to how much time you can spend on something in comparison to the full soundtrack, it's just like, it's wow, Thank you. Did you have a Geordie kind of translator?
No one understands what you're saying.
What's up?
Sounds good.
I think a question I'm quite curious about actually is, out of all of the work that you've done for Tomb Raider, one track, what's your favourite?
God. So
Got you thinking.
it has, hasn't it?
Jeep Thrills.
There you go. There's the answer.
What's Jeep Thrills?
You know, Jeep Thrills. It was always done as a bit of a kind of. It wasn't done as a joke, but I just thought I'll just do something a little bit different to the norm. You know what I was doing with the other the other music in the game. I just thought I want to do something that just kind of breaks away from what I'm currently doing, just to kind of make it a little bit exciting. And it was almost tongue in cheek when I wrote that, but for some reason, it ended up being one of the most loved tracks in the game. Do you know what I mean? It actually worked with the Jeep. I was giggling when I was writing it. I even giggled when I wrote the name Jeep Thrills. Sorry, I know it's silly dad humor, but you know, it was, yeah. I think that's possibly one of the ones that stands out to me. Yes, I love the Angel of Darkness theme, but I think that was kind of because it was done by a big orchestra. It was always going to be special. You know what I mean? Not because what I wrote, in its own right, kind of not because what I wrote. It was more because it was, you know, it was just done by the best orchestra in the world. It was literally recorded by the LSO in Abbey Road just before Star Wars was recorded by the same orchestra in the same. That's my little thing. Whether that's something or not, I don't know. But I was quite, you know, fascinated by that fact. You know, I'm just a nerd when it comes to music and studios and recording. So
yeah, that's lovely. Well, it kind of like rings true for what we were talking about when we first started deciding. Oh yeah, let's do something a bit different. Is you said, oh, Jeep Thrills was a bit of a mess around. All of a sudden, we decided to butcher it.
Yes.
But I don't know. How did you guys find the newer version of Jeep Thrills? Yeah. All right. Okay, we had a few cheers. I'll add that. Oh yeah. Also, a little bit of credit. Rachel's literally heard this track about 50 times, so it's a little bit of PTSD for her, unfortunately. And we
she heard it 25 years ago.
Now she just despises it.
Do you know why? Because it's not a Jeep; it's actually a Land Rover.
It's actually a Land Rover. That's how it's called Lara Croft. That's pretty genius.
Yeah, and we actually decided to rename what we just done Land Rover Remix. So, although, as a quick question, I'm putting it out to the audience before we do a few questions to you guys, is how would you feel about actually us doing that across the board? Yes. Start to finish. 4, 5 and 6. Yes. All of the music. You be quiet. Yeah. What I said. So that's basically what we also wanted to talk about as well.
We did, yeah. I mean, this was a kind of tester to see how we work together and how we kind of collaborate together.
This is the last time we're working together.
Yeah, after this we'll go separate ways. But I think we've both learned a lot from this. You know, we took a lot away from it, and I think we can only progress from here on and make things better. What I do want to do with this track is do a proper studio version of it, lay down the tracks, get it mixed properly. We've got some video footage as well that we'd like to sync it to. Unfortunately, we were unable to play that today, but you know, we're not just going to stop here. We're going to carry on and do more stuff. I mean, what track we do next, I don't know. I want you to pick the next track.
Oof, that's a very, very bold
Sorry
statement.
to put that one on you.
I mean, I don't know. Have we got a general consensus as to what track we should do next?
Serpent Rouge.
So is that a 100% we're going to be doing that one next, yeah? Oh, I think they've decided for us, Pete.
You will be mine. Will I? I thought you were suggesting something there.
So, Michael, before you open it up, I wondered if Maria's okay with this, because I can see Maria through the glass, if we could play it again. Yes. Do you want to do it again?
What, play the track again?
Yeah.
Well, that depends if this lot want to.
Do you want to hear it again? Okay. Peter,
I still can't hear them.
Peter, do you want to do it again?
I'll do it again, yeah.
Okay, I think so, because there's more people here now, so I think they've missed it. So,
To be fair, I didn't quite hear the crowd either. Do they want it done again?
if the band
Still can't hear it.
So yeah, if the
Could we have it a little louder?
No, no.
No, not the crowd. I mean, that.
Right, you two get to position.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
Rock and
go.
roll.
Michael, get ready. I've done this before. There's no backing track.
Backing track on. That's it.
Right, so in all fairness, you actually get to see this before anyone else. So this is going to be on YouTube. Come on, let's get this clapping going again. Come on, let's get this movement.